It's 8:52 on the Big 550 KTRS. You've seen him on national television. You've seen him on local television. You've heard him here on the Big 550 KTRS. His name is Charles D'Angelo, and he is a weight loss coach. He's back working with me. He's worked with Claire McCaskill. He's worked with far and wide, and, in fact, endorsed by both Tony Robbins and Richard Simmons.
You've got it. Yeah, just last week, both of them endorsed me and my program, The Book, so very excited to get that news.
The book is called Think and Grow Thin.
Yeah, it's available everywhere, and I'm getting such a great response from people that are doing it on their own that I've never even met. I'll be out in a grocery store, and someone will come up to the line and tell me that they've lost 30 pounds, 40 pounds, simply by following the program that I put forth in the book. And it's more about the mindset about healthy eating and exercise than it is just about a diet. Of course, it tells you exactly what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. All of those things are in there, but it's more about reconditioning the way you think about food and exercise so that not only do you reach your goal, but you learn how to keep the weight off long term.
It's really fascinating, especially today when it's so easy. Everything is so easy.
Convenient
to eat poorly.
You've got it.
And people think, you know what, I'll have salmon for lunch, and then I'll have 8 pieces of bread.
Well, there's a big myth, too, that it's expensive to be able to eat well and eat healthy, when in reality, if you go out and you look at what it would take to eat a week's worth of fast food as compared to what I would recommend folks go out and eat, it's far less expensive to buy a bag of chicken breasts and cook them up for the week than it is to go and buy fast food every night for dinner, especially if you're buying for a family of 3 or 4. So you really want to take into consideration much of what you think, much of the story you're giving yourself as to why you can't do it is just that. It's just excuses, and you need to blow through that and say, I'm setting a new standard for myself. I'm not going to let myself buy into that anymore, and I'm going to go after what I really know I deserve. Your
program, Charles D'Angelo, is very rigid. However, what I find interesting...
I'd say strategic.
Strategic. Well, what I find interesting is you're able to worked with a truck driver.
Sure.
You worked with somebody who worked at Busch Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
You work with a radio talk show host who gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So even though it's very rigid, there are actually options. So depending on one's lifestyle, you can figure out a way to help them incorporate healthy living regardless of how they live.
Well, I've been there, weighing 360 pounds, and I was really fortunate growing up with a family and a father and mother that worked really, really hard. I realized looking at my relatives that they all suffered from obesity, but one thing was they all had what they had to have. In other words, if money was an issue, they would make a way to make money to get through it to help the family survive. We all get what we have to have. And if you really want something bad enough, I learned at an early age, you can get it no matter what it is, no matter where you are in your life. If you're 150 pounds overweight, and I've helped hundreds now of people to lose over 100 pounds each, or if you just want to lose 20 or 30 pounds, no matter how far off the mark you are, if you're ready to make this an absolute priority for yourself, there's nothing that will stop you when you make the decision to step it up.
It's really true. I make the joke all the time. People are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing this really weird diet where you exercise and you eat right. But don't do it, because the minute you stop
eating right and exercising, you're
then
fat
you gain
again.
all the weight back. So it really doesn't work like that. So, I mean, it's almost comical. But, I think that your success, or the reason why I was successful with you, and this isn't a paid endorsement, this is nothing. This is two guys talking. We get you on to try and,
help some people.
Get people motivated to sort of lose some weight. But and I was talking to Christine Buck about this yesterday. At the end of 2 weeks, I have to go back and I have to stand on your scale.
Accountability.
And if I don't hit the number we've agreed to, I'm in trouble.
Well, here's the deal. Look at any professional out there, anyone, an athlete, for example. Look at someone that's the Olympics is going on right now. All of those people have coaches. Michael Phelps has a swimming coach. Now, he's probably one of the best swimmers that there is in the entire world, but he has someone outside of himself that watches him, that monitors where he's at, how he's doing, and where he needs to work, where his vulnerabilities are. Albert Pujols from St. Louis, right? Of course, now in California. But even he has someone watching how he swings, where his feet are. You have to have someone on the outside looking in. Otherwise, we have that forest trees phenomenon where you're so immersed in everything, you don't see when you're off the mark. And if you get off the mark now, 2-3 months from now, it's easy to have put on 15, 20, 25, 30 pounds. So you really want to pull it back in as soon as it gets off.
It's real. I mean, that's a very, very good analogy. I said when a teenage kid is out on a Saturday night and somebody passes him a joint and he has the option, And he can say, yes, I'll take it. Or he can say, you know what, I know next Friday my mom's going to drug test me.
Well, not only that, I went to CBC. Ray Barr, the dean of discipline, good friend of mine, was one of the first people in St. Louis to put in drug testing in schools. And when you know that there's a lottery and you might be the one that's going to be tested, you're less likely, knowing that you're going to be expelled from the school, to indulge in something that you know is the wrong thing.
And it's almost like a safety net. It's like I can't eat that candy bar because I know I got to weigh in 4 days, and that candy bar is not going to get me to where I have to go.
And the difference with my program as opposed to taking drugs is that you're actually experiencing a really positive result from what you're doing work with me. Your pants are getting looser, your energy's better, everyone's noticing, you're hearing it, you're feeling it, you're getting off of, doctors are able to take you off of medications.
Right.
I have clients that are physicians, lawyers, CEOs, and stay-at-home moms and teenagers. Just set a new level of excellence for yourself. Step up, do the right thing for yourself, and you can make your life exactly what you want it to be.
Also, I think this. Let me ask you this question. We got 2 minutes left. I quit smoking, and in smoking, people are like, "Well, I'll just cut back." In dieting or getting healthy, you just can't cut back because it doesn't really work, right? You might cut back for a day or two, but then you know what? 3 days later, you're ordering that pizza.
Well, I always call it the traffic light phenomenon, and that we all have an internal traffic light. And for most people that are chronic dieters, their green light, that is, I'm going to eat whatever the hell I want, works real well. Their red light, I'm going to see Charles D'Angelo, it's over, I'm going to make this my new world, works really well too. The problem comes in once they stop chasing the number, once they reach their goal. And what happens at that point is that yellow light sometimes isn't working. Yeah. So there's no caution. So what I do is not only help a person reach their goal, but then get that yellow traffic signal working so that before they lance that piece of red meat that they're not supposed to be having that's fat-laden and grease-fried and put it in their mouth, they pause for a minute and they look at it on the fork and they say, do I really want to do that, before they shovel it down their throat.
Charles D'Angelo, weight loss coach. How do we get a hold of you?
CharlesD'Angelo.com. CharlesD'Angelo.com.